good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, Steve?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell.
Because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family without further ado. Let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
I told it on the side of the week last night, water farm night moonshine, no fish. We spoke matter up woods.
It's the only dialect in the United States. When you play it for people from outside of the United States, England, do not identify it as an American dialect.
I don't identify it as an American dialect.
Now that's some real lost words.
The dialect and several of the island dialects of the Atlantic seaboard really began in the late 17th century. There was a settlement on the island in the first decade of the 18th century, so in about 1709 or 10. The people presumably came from the southwest of England there to Virginia and settled on islands, and people from those islands traveled by boat to these islands in North Carolina and settled them. Once they settled them, of course, they had no way to access the mainland other than by boat, which is still the case. And so it was isolated for centuries.
It's home, and it's special to me because it's home.
We found this place, and it was beautiful.
Lower Coast, quite simply, a magical place.
So they maintained a fairly isolated and independent existence, and in that context, the original dialect was perpetuated and strengthened.
The who? The Hoy.
There are certainly retentions of English. You know, there are words that sort of we can find in the plays of Shakespeare, like a word like mamic.
Mama, oh, that means when somebody gets you playing and they get hold of you and they're mad at you about something in the game and they, try to shake you up a little bit.
Oh.
Okay. It was her. It was her. What you said, somebody who gets you playing. Somebody playing games with you.
Right.
They mamic. So how you use that?
Shake you up.
Yeah.
I'm a mamic you.
Ooh. Okay. Get you playing if you want.
Yeah, I'm laughing about it because I've never heard of it before. And that's okay because there are some of our regional languages and dialects that a lot of you all haven't heard of. Especially like our Gullah Geechee and our Corrivini and our Tut. And that's one that y'all probably ain't gonna hear.
Our AAV ain't that bad then.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, because people only think we speak in AAVE, but we have so much more.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Keep not knowing about it.
They want to box with you.
They want to box with you.
Like to irritate somebody or tickle somebody,
There are also things that they've simply created. In the United States, we play a game hide and seek. Well, on Ocracoke, the term is called me-honky. Because when they're hiding, what they do is they imitate the sound of a goose. Me-honky, me-honky.
That's how you get found.
Just hiding and finding and running through the bushes and hide somewhere else. Hollering, knee-harking, they know you wherever you are, where you're at that damn.
That's funny.
It's really just another thing, sort of like hide and seek, except you choose tape.
When we first got there, the term for outsider was dingbatter.
The ones you see riding around the road in the middle of the road on a bicycle.
Dingbatter.
Two of them, you'll see this cup. There are a whole string of cars behind them. They're right in the middle of the road, right down the middle of the road. That's their dingbatter.
Oh, Lord.
Where did they get dingbatter? As it turns out, up until the early 1970s, the term for outsider was foreigner or stranger, okay? Now, in 1972, they got television for the first time. There was a famous American sitcom called All in the Family with Archie Bunker, which was on at the time. One of the characteristics of Archie Bunker, who was sort of a sort of a parody of a racist, a chauvinist, and so forth, was he called his wife a dingbat because she didn't seem to have much common sense. Okay, they saw that and said, "Oh, that's just like the outsiders here."
A real true blood dingbat, or somebody would see the car track, two car tracks going across the beach, and would go across there in a car and think that he could go where a four-wheel drive was. That is a real dyed-in-the-wool dingbat.
So in that sense, you know, it keeps changing, but it changes in ways that are sort of similar to its circumstances, you know, what it has and what it doesn't have and so forth. But they also have some pronunciation. The one that everybody talks about, which is why it's referred to as a hoi toi.
Hoi toi on the side of the week,
Oh,
like
man.
water farm, like moonshine, no fish. We spoke about up woods.
Like, time out, like, so you know how you can hear certain words and you can be like, oh, well, that's old. Like, we don't say that no more.
Right,
Like,
right,
that's
right.
what they'll sound like.
Yeah.
Like, it got a lot of age to it.
It sounds like a lot of phrases. Like, it don't sound like a complete thought. And so, usually when I'm listening to a foreigner speak, I could get like the last word of what they're saying. If it's not a completely total different language.
Right,
I can
right.
get the last word that they're saying and try to understand what they're saying. I didn't understand nothing he was saying.
Hey.
Nothing. I've never heard of them before, so this is new to me.
Yeah, facts.
Thai is back, so it sounds more like toy. All right, so that is what they're known for.
Now tell me what you said.
High tide on the same side.
South side, yeah.
Last night the water fire.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, that's phosphorus in the water. You ever go to the ocean, you see the old people used to call it water fire. When the water fire.
Oh, water fire.
Yeah, and the night moonshine.
Like moonshine,
And the night
got you.
moonshine. So they had one night they had a water fire against them. The next night they had a moonshine against them. Usually can't get, couldn't catch too much on bright nights. You know, when the nights are bright, you don't catch much fish. So.
I see.
Wow. Uh-oh.
And I guess a good thing, to know that I was born and raised right here, and one of the original ones before people started moving in as tourists and stuff. I'm gonna be my son an original O'Cocker.
The only real status is whether you're a native. That is, they call them O'Cockers. In which case, you can follow your lineage back into the 1700s. Sort of, if you've just been there, 2-3 generations, you're not a real O'Cocker. Right now, there are about 350 islanders out of a population of around 900. Also, there's more marriages between outsiders and O'Cockers. And so that has an effect. And more recently, and this is really interesting, now 40% of the kids in the school are Hispanic. And that's related to the fact that the tourist industry is dependent on outside help.
Yeah, and I think it's worse for the girls than it is for the boys, because the girls are kind of sort of like, they can't fish, they can't crab, and take up a tray like that, so they eventually end up in one of the restaurants or a motel, or they're on more of a day-to-day basis with the tourists and stuff, so I think they're losing it more than a lot of the boys are.
I got a little kid, so he's 4 weeks old. Time he gets grown, his accent will be what they call dingbat. Like for him to keep the same accent, heritage like we've had for years and years, but there's no way now. All this is gone.
Bro, and I remember watching a video. It was it had to be around like segregation, or probably a little further than that. But you could hear it coming, like the accent in the kids was so soulful. It was like some of like them deep blue twins when they were talk. They talk like like they would kind of hit you with that, but it was so deep. It was like it was different. So I can understand what he mean when he said it, because it's like once the accent starts to wash away, also the culture starts to intertwine with New World and other people's way of living. So
being Americanized like we are now. Like for us, it was kind of a little bit different because our grandparents couldn't speak their native language at school. And they were taught English. Like my grandmother, my dad's mom, her native language on the census was what was it? Was it either French or French? That's what they put down, but it was Corvini.
Okay.
But my dad don't know it because when she was going to school and growing up into school, I think they only went to school like to 6th grade back in the day. That was the standard. They were taught in English, so we lost those languages. And so now our generation, and it's not just us as a family, we see more and more people from our age group who are teaching their families our old languages. So yes, it may die down for a little bit, but there are going to be people who's going to be like, my grandfather used to speak like this and talk like this with these words, and they're going to learn it. Like, we have a whole book of our language that was taken from us, basically, and we're teaching our children.
It's not gone. It has a pulse.
Yeah, it's just paused a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
What do you think will be preserved if you thought of putting on tape?
Yeah, there's a lot of new people, coming in and everything, and it's changed a lot in the last few years. In the last 20 years, most of it's been lost.
By our count, people within one or two more generations, the dialect will be gone for good.
That's a wrap. We're gonna stop it right there, man. And so growing up in Louisiana, it's like you hear that, like in the South, like you hear the accent heavy. Lafayette areas and certain locations, you hear the accent. So when we moved to Texas, after being out here for like 5 years plus, I'm asking myself, I'm like, yo, wait a minute, did I lose my accent?
Right? Do we still talk?
Do we sound like how we used to? Because when I hear back at home, it triggers me. You know what I'm saying, in a good way. But it's just the same with them. It's like when you hear it and then you're like, okay, maybe it's starting to wash away. You start asking people, do I have that accent? Like, do you hear me speak different like?
Right, because we're around people who don't speak like us.
At all. And
it's just one state over, y'all, but we are around people who do not sound like
Texas
us.
has its own swag, its own accent.
I have not even dug into the history in Texas to know if they have their own languages like we once had or not. But I can say that they have their own cultures, okay?
Yeah.
And the only way that a language will not die out is if you teach it. And if you are not a person where your parents knew it or not, but your grandparents are still living, your grand-uncles and great-uncles and all those people are still living, document the language.
Yeah.
Have them say the whole alphabet if you have to. If you have to be the person that write that textbook, document everything while you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.